Hey everyone, it is Brian Kaz here. Once again, thanks for joining us on another WebFire Wednesday webinar. We have some good training this time that I think a lot of you will get a lot of value out of. And of course, at the very end of the call, we'll also have the cash giveaway as well. Again, we'll get more info on how to partake in the cash contest. As always, it's just you make a quick comment about what you thought of the call at the very end on our Facebook group page. And again, we'll give you that Facebook group page link towards the end of this call for those that are new. And just as a side note, if this is your first time on one of these calls, just type in a quick 1. So each week there's always a handful of new guys and a bunch of returning ones as well. So just want to see. All right, so it looks like we have a good chunk of new guys. So welcome. Yeah, all right. So without further ado then, we can get this show on the road then. Just give me maybe 30 seconds or so, and then we'll get this all going. All right, we'll give guys maybe another minute or so to show up, or 30 seconds or so. All right, just have to get rid of a little program running. There we go. All right, there we go. Back in action now. All right, guys, once again, welcome to another WebFire Wednesday webinar. This one will be 3 ways to make money in under 1 hour a week. So I'll actually give you 3 different ways that you can either start from scratch or increase sales for whatever you're currently doing, with the goal of spending about an hour a week or so. Of course, obviously, you can spend more time than that. Obviously, there's some stuff you can do in less time, but I think it's reasonable to say, that you can do most of these in about an hour a week on average. Even if it takes you a little bit longer, it's perfectly fine, because again, most of these don't have to take a ton of time, but you can start to see some pretty awesome results off of that. So, as always, welcome to WebFire's Wednesday calls right here. And for those of you that are new, it's every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which is right now. We'll host a live training and or a Q&A call for our WebFire members. So again, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll always have one live. These trainings will either feature myself, Brian Kaz, Sean Casey, both of us at once, or occasionally a featured special guest if we think that their expertise would be of value to our members. But usually it will either just be myself or Sean, or both. If you're here or registered for the series, you'll get a reminder each week so you don't forget. But if you can't make one, we'll have the recordings in the members area within a day of any of the calls up under the training tab on the left side navigation bar. So you'll click on training, and then you'll see another tab that will pop up under that will say Wednesday webinars or Wednesday trainings, and you'll see them all listed there, with the most recent one being at the very top. And you can see a lot of prior trainings and such there. And again, we do record all of these, so either by tonight or first thing tomorrow morning, we'll have the recordings up there as well as a copy of the slides too. And now you want to use these calls as an opportunity to get even more training, ask strategy type questions, get feedback, or make suggestions on what else you'd like to be trained on or what else you'd like to hear. And as a special note, make sure to check out our prior WebFire Wednesday webinars and our WebFire trainings, as there's tons of info already there that a lot of you are oftentimes asking for more training on. Like I've seen guys say, hey, can you do training on how to rank this, or can you do training on how to reply to leads, or can you do training on this, or that? And like I'd say probably like 98% of the time, we have oftentimes like a whole call, or at least a good chunk of a call, dedicated to just the very question that you're basically asking for more training on. So make sure to check out those. Luckily, we label them all by title, and we even allow you to search. We have like a built-in mini search engine, so you can search the past trainings by the titles, and you can see what topic would be of interest to you based upon that. So very, very easy to do so, but there's a lot of trainings there right now. I mean, tons and tons and tons of them. And really quick, for those that are new, I'm going to briefly mention our 3 WebFire Member Rules to success. If you follow all 3 of these, I think you'll do perfectly fine. Rule number 1, follow the steps in the trainings that we have. I oftentimes see guys try to like bypass the trainings or bypass a couple steps, and if you don't get the result you want, 9 times out of 10 is because you're skipping a step or not following the trainings and such that we have laid out. Number 2, don't give up. This means seek help when needed, but at the same time don't get too dependent. I've seen kind of examples where on both ends aren't quite ideal. I've seen guys that will start a project or they'll start a task, they'll get stuck, and the first time they get stuck, they give up, and that's not good at all. Likewise, I've seen guys that almost find problems out of the blue and seem to get stuck on not trying to help themselves. Like if you're not sure on what a term means, or if you're not sure on a simple question, try to do a Google search first. I mean, I'd say like 99% of the time, a Google search will answer your question within a minute, and then you don't have to be stuck anymore. And it's amazing, again, the number of people that try to find an obstacle that could easily be solved within a minute's time. Now, of course, if you legitimately are stuck and can't find an answer at all, by all means, at that point, feel free to ask us. But I find it really helps to try to solve the problem on your own first. Take like a couple minutes, and if you still can't solve it, then ask. That way you don't have to wait like 1 or 2 hours or so, or if it's in the middle of the night, you don't have to wait like a half day to get an answer back. So that's one thing that I find makes a major difference. And last but not least, number 3, no whining or negative attitudes, because I find that's really the quickest way to fail. And I've never really met a successful guy that or successful person that really had a truly negative or whining attitude. I mean, the vast majority of them, probably like 95% or more, have a very positive attitude and tend to be problem solvers instead of whiners and complainers. And a perfect example of that is, I've seen guys that will try to rank for like, let's say 5 keywords, and I've seen some that if they rank for like 1 or 2 out of 5, they're incredibly happy and they're like, man, this is awesome. They take the lessons they learned from that and they do even better next time, but they got the rankings that they were trying to shoot for. Whereas I've seen some that will try for 5 keywords, they'll get ranked for 4 out of the 5, and they'll complain and get stuck on the fact that, hey, one of those 5 keywords that they tried to rank for, didn't work out. And they get stuck on that and give up based upon that, which is, missing completely the obvious, which is, hey, you just got ranked for, a bunch of keywords. Or same thing if you're replying to leads. Like if you're trying to make a sale, and let's say you reply to 5 leads, and only 1 or 2 write back, there's people that get stuck on the fact that, gee, I didn't hear back from a chunk of those leads. And that will always happen. People won't always respond to the offers that you have, to the emails that you have. That's perfectly fine. It's both a numbers game and a quality game. So the goal is to take the trainings and the tips and keep at it. And at the same time, try to have a positive attitude, both in business and I think in life. I think that really makes a major difference in going forward and such and doing well. And with that, guys, just as a quick announcement, I just want to say once again that we're also working on a handful of new tools inside of WebFire and some awesome updates still. So stay tuned for those in the near future. And of course, I'm talking about free and included tools with WebFire. So we're working on a handful of pretty cool updates and tools and stuff, and we'll update you when it gets a little bit closer. And on one of the future training calls, we'll actually have it probably devoted to showing off some of the new stuff that you can do and such. So we're just about ready on that, but pretty exciting stuff there. So with that all aside, now we can move on to our training for this week on 3 ways to make big money with only 1 hour a week. Now we know that a lot of people either can't initially put a ton of time into their marketing, or they don't have any sort of plan to make it productive. Like maybe you have a ton of time, but you don't really have a productive plan. So in that case, it's sometimes almost just as bad as not having any time. So we thought we'd solve kind of both those problems by giving you 3 things that you can do in under an hour a week. And you can pick whichever one or ones most fit best for you. It's not like you have to do all 3 of these or anything like that, but each one is designed to be, so like if you do, or if you set like an hour or so a week aside, even if it's a bit more, even if it's 2 hours for you, it's a plan that you have. It doesn't have to take a ton of time, but can start getting you some results and such. And it doesn't matter, if you have a product or not right now. Some of these will work in either case, so don't worry about that either. Now, obviously, the more time you spend, the better, but 1 hour a week is sufficient to get these plans rolling. So again, I'm trying to show that it's not like you have to spend 20 hours a week or 40 hours a week or 60 hours a week to start seeing results and such. Obviously, if you spend an hour or 2 or 3 a week and you start to see some results off of that, I would encourage you obviously to maybe spend a little more time on it. But start with this to start with. So here are the 3 plans for only one hour a week. Now I'll go through each one obviously in a lot more detail in just a minute here, but here are the 3 things that we'll cover today. So first, creating a web service and finding buyers method. So on this one, I'll basically talk to you about how you can quickly and easily create web services that you can sell, even if you're brand new and don't have one right now, and then how you can find buyers off that. And this works incredibly well because it's like one of the easiest ways to make money fast, I think, is to sell high price point stuff. I mean, if you're selling a $7 ebook, I mean, you definitely can make money that way. I do know guys that have done quite well that way, but it's much more hard, especially if you're brand new, to make a lot of money off that compared to selling like a $1,000 product or service. You need a lot of buyers at $7 to match even one buyer at $1,000. And the second method I'll talk about is the shortcut to getting big sellers to do the work for you method. And this one is huge. If you have a product or service, or if you don't have one, if you make one in the future, and again, after we go through the first one right here, you can basically easily make your own product or service. But the second method right here can make a phenomenal difference, where just one deal this way can make a substantial amount of income. In fact, one solid deal here, if done well, can be worth 6 figures or more. In fact, I've done deals like this worth way more than that even. And this is one that, again, works incredibly well, but not a lot of guys actually do because they don't know how, or they're too nervous. And I'll share with you a few tricks on how that all works. And last but not least is the affiliate marketing made easy trick. So this is one, if you just want to be an affiliate, don't want to have your own product or service or anything like that, that's a trick for you. And again, all these you can start with about an hour a week or so. So starting up with the first one, creating a web service and finding buyers method. There's a huge market out there for web services, and by web services I mean SEO, social media management, lead generation, video creation, site creation, article writing, fan page creation, making mobile sites, so on and so forth. In fact, there's probably, I could probably list like 100 different services in total, and that would probably still just be the tip of the iceberg. But those few right there give you an idea of some of the popular ones out there. Now, WebFire can help actually automate a lot of work, and the vast majority of these for you too. For instance, we have SEO tools that can not only find all the problems on a site, but can easily help fix them. We have social media management tools to put your Facebook and Twitter on complete autopilot. We have lead gen tools to find tons and tons of leads. We have a tool to help create and submit videos. We have tools to turn one article into a bunch of them that read real well. I mean, just again, tons and tons of tools that can do all sorts of stuff, including like even like the guest blog tool can be turned into like a PR service, which is one that I didn't mention at the top there, but that's another one. PR services are quite huge there too. But you know, keep in mind that again, WebFire can help you do a lot of those, so you can save a ton of time off those right there. But you also want to keep in mind you can also easily find outsourced workers to do the parts that you don't want to do. You can find outsourced workers on Fiverr. It's fiverr.com, where there's lots of people looking to do stuff for $5. You can search on Craigslist, which is obviously a huge classified site. There's also, I know there's sites comparable to Craigslist overseas in places like Australia and the UK. I know Gumtree is a larger one, or a larger one there, even though Craigslist as a whole is larger than those, but Gumtree is, you know, an option too if you live in one of those places. There's also freelance sites. There's lots of them out there where it's quite easy to find outsourced workers to do all sorts of services with. So if you wanted to have a service where you make people like a fan page, and then on back of that you sell social media management, so you have like Facebook management after you make them a fan page, that's great. You can use like Fiverr, find a guy for $5 to make a Facebook fan page from scratch, and you can sell that as part of a service for way more. There's guys that sell fan pages for hundreds of dollars. I've even seen ones that are like 1,000 plus. But on the back end, you can include social media management using the social poster Fire tool inside of WebFire to have your posts and all that done, basically an autopilot right there. And that's a cool service all by itself, where again, you can start with making a fan page for a cost of $5 that again, you can charge hundreds of dollars for, and people still think you're dirt cheap. Now, if you go the outsource worker route, there's a few tricks you have to keep in mind if you want to do this well. First, you want to make sure that you find reputable workers. So, if you search on Fiverr, for instance, you can search there, and you'll see guys that will have like ratings. So, like if there's a guy that's 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, you know that he probably does a pretty good job there. You also want to look at the number of ratings as well. If there's a guy that has like a 10 out of 10 but only 1 rating, that's not necessarily bad. But compared to a guy that maybe has like 1,000 ratings and is a 10 out of 10, the guy with 1,000 ratings probably has his stuff together really well, and more than likely will do an awesome job for you right there. Now, on Craigslist and freelance sites and places like that, you can look at their existing work or samples of their work and see if it lines up with what you need right there. So those are a few tricks to making sure you pick the right workers and such right there. Now, the key when you sell these kinds of offers, or when you make this kind of offer, is to have it be as done for you as possible for your prospects. And what I mean by this is, the more work you have the prospects or the buyers do, the less likely they are to buy. Like, no one wants to hire, let's say, an SEO service if they have to go in and they feel like they have to do half the work themselves. They're not tech guys. They don't know the stuff well. They just want the stuff done. It's kind of like, if you go to a restaurant, you kind of want everything cooked for you. You don't want them to say, well, here's your steak, but you have to go in the kitchen and make your own mashed potatoes and broccoli. So the more done for you, the more everything's done, the more you can charge. And this is a huge thing here. Like, for instance, and I know I've given this example on past trainings and such, but I'll just mention this once more because it's really a key take-home here, is if you're selling, let's say, an article writing service that you can outsource for $5, you charge 10, you don't really make a lot of money because it's also not very done for you. They get an article, but they still have to do work with that. Whereas if you create a service where you make them a custom website and you do 5 blog posts or 5 articles on it, and you optimize it for them, and you set everything up, you get them unique graphics. The cool part with that is you can have a guy make a WordPress site or a Blogger site, even with unique graphics, for $5 to $10 using places like Fiverr. You can have 5 blog posts made or articles made for probably $5 a piece, and you can have a guy optimize everything for an additional $5 or so, or you can use the WebFire tools to probably do an even better job of that. So you're basically talking like 30 to $40 worth of raw cost there if you want to outsource it. Obviously, you could do it all yourself and it'd be free, but that's the kind of offer that at $500 to $1,000, people would think that's a steal of a deal. I mean, at $500, people would probably say, how can you possibly do it that cheaply? Because it's all completely done for them. They get the writing done. They get the SEO done. They get the graphics done. They get the blog creation and setup done. Everything is done and handed to them on a silver platter. That has a lot of value. That's why you could charge upwards of like $1,000 and seem like still a steal of a deal. Here's the cool part. There's a lot of people that would rather buy the $1,000 pre-made site, everything done for them, than those that would want to buy a $5 or $10 article. And that's one thing that you really want to keep in mind there. So again, the more done for you can make it, the better. So when you create your own offer, you want to make sure to do these 3 things. Once again, first, make it as done for you as possible to increase the value and the price. This is huge and probably the most important one. Number 2, show social proof. This is like examples of your own or from your outsourced workers. So if you sell, let's say, a fan page service, show examples of the different designs either you have, or ask the outsourced worker if you can use their examples, as yours if you use them to fulfill the service. I mean, the vast majority of the time they'll say sure, because you're getting them to do the work anyway. Because if people see examples of your work, they don't have to take your word that you do a good job. They can judge for themselves basically by looking at the examples. Number 3, you want to make sure to have a clear and concise sales pitch that explains how it will solve their problems. And this is a mistake that I oftentimes see a lot of guys make. They don't have a very clear and concise sales page. Like, you have to think in kind of a dumbed down way. Like, for instance, if you sell an SEO service, you don't want to say, hey, I can fix up your title tags and your image tags, and I can make you a sitemap and blah blah. I mean, that's like tech type terms where we know that, hey, they probably need to fix that stuff. But to the average business guy, they just want to rank better. They just want to make sure that their site is optimized. They don't know what any of that means. So if you say that you'll change all that stuff, it's like, you'll get like a blank stare back that they'll basically be like, okay, I have no clue what this guy is talking about, therefore I have no clue if he can help me or not. So instead, you can focus on saying, hey, I will change everything wrong with your site to give you a better chance of ranking and getting traffic. And then if you want to explain some tech stuff, you can. Like, you can say, hey, here's a few things that are holding you back, and we can fix all those right here. But in the end, you want your message to be clear and concise. You'll change and optimize the site for them. And one thing that you can do is, if you use the site analysis tool, you can give out a free SEO report to them that kind of lays out the problems and stuff that they have. So if they want to read that and they want to go into more detail on the tech stuff, they can. But you still want to make sure that the basic message of the sales pitch basically is, hey, I can fix whatever problem you have right here, and here's how. Or if you're, let's say you're trying to sell a social media management service, okay? People don't want to just hear, hey, you'll manage their account and blah blah. They want to know what the benefit is that they'll get out of that. So you would say, hey, nowadays there's tons and tons and tons of people on Facebook. That's where a lot of active users are every day. So if you're not on Facebook, you're losing out on sales, and you're losing out on free publicity and exposure. But in order to get the maximum free publicity and exposure, you want to be active on it. You want to be doing posts, at least every few days or so, and yada yada yada. And then say, hey, I can take care of all this for you by not only doing posts for you every day or every week, but on top of that, I can also monetize it for you by having special offers you have or discounts and mentioning those. So you can monetize that list too. Oh, and at the same time, we can build a following, because once you have a social media presence, you naturally get the followers and the likes and all those guys right there too. And you can say, hey, once you have a list, you can also send out special offers or deals or announcements to them. So you want to make it clear why this is important to basically do and how they can make money off it or how they can benefit off of that. So a lot of people oftentimes miss that. Probably the biggest culprit I see is on the SEO side, where there's a lot of SEO guys that sell stuff like only backlinks or simple stuff like that. And to the average business guy, they don't even know what a backlink is. So that's like zero appeal to them. Even though backlinks, which are links from other sites to yours, can help with your rankings, that's not really appealing to most of these guys, because they just want something that gets them ranked. And they have to be talked to in that kind of language too. So again, make sure you have a clear and concise sales pitch. And another thing, you don't have to have a fancy sales page or anything like that. In fact, I've done a lot of deals that are just over email. But one thing that you can do if you're selling a service, especially to like a local business, and this works really well and doesn't have to take all that long. Like you can probably do this one in about 15 minutes. If you're really good, you can probably have it done in 5 to 10. But let's say 1 week or 1 month, you want to basically target, let's say, dentists. Okay. What you can do is pick maybe 1 or 2 cities each week. Do a search on Google for dentist in whatever town or city or anything like that, and have like a screen capture or screen recording tool like Camtasia or Cam Studio. Camtasia I like, but I know that costs like $100 or $200 on the Mac side. There's also a Windows version. I'm not quite sure of the price, but there's a free one called Cam Studio, which also does screen recording. I don't like it as much, but it's free and it does the job and all that. And then you do a recording of you doing a Google search like that and saying, hey, here are all the dentists or all the chiropractors or whatever job or niche you're trying to shoot for, and say, hey, here's why these 2 or 3 sites rank at the very top, and here's why these guys on page 2 or 3 don't rank as well. And you can say stuff like, just look at basically the site analysis report, but usually it's stuff like, hey, these guys tend to have the keywords in their title tags or in their descriptions or on their site, whereas these guys don't have it anywhere there. And just like basic info like that, and then say, I see that you're not ranked on page 1 here, or you're not ranked at the top of page 1 here. I attached a free website analysis for you if you're interested. Or you can say, if you're interested, just let me know and I can give you a free site analysis. So you can save a little time there if you want. And just doing that alone shows that you personally took the time to create a video just about dentists in that particular city, and you reached out to dentists in that particular city and such. And that's kind of cool in that, you took the time to do that. The dentist or whoever sees that says, hey, all these other guys that have contacted me haven't been talking about dentists, and they especially haven't been talking about ones in my city or town. So you sound like not only are you specifically trying to gear it towards them, but you're also specifically telling them why some guys rank and why some guys don't rank. And that can really help a ton right there. And once you get good at this, you can create a video like that in, like, again, 5 to 10 minutes, and the next week you create a new one in the next town. And guess what? The videos are almost identical. The reasons why guys rank or don't rank are identical. The only difference is you're saying, hey, here's a search in, Madison, or here's a search in Atlanta, or here's a search in London, or, wherever you're at right there. And that's a good method that can work real well. And it's a clear and concise sales pitch that you can send out as a video. And then say, hey, if you're interested in having, me fix this stuff for you, feel free to reach out to me here. If not, I hope I've helped you. And after you basically make the offer and make the pitch and all that, after that, you also can find buyers also in other ways. And there's a few different ways that you can get buyers. So, outside of reaching out to them with like a video, like, the way I just mentioned, here's some additional ways. First, you can use the lead tools to find people already talking about and asking about such services. So if there's people that are asking questions about, like, a good guy to make fan pages, or a good social media management service, or anything like that, or a good SEO place, you can find guys talking about that and jump in on the conversations right there. You can do post this up and say, hey, I see you're looking for a good guy to do SEO. Here's a few things that you should pay attention to, like keywords and titles and image tags and blah blah. And then say, I'd be happy to give you a free website analysis that will lay out all of the problems and how they can be fixed and why and blah blah. And that's a great way to find lots of leads. And you can also at the same time post ads up and such on classified sites, respond to freelance site posts, so on and so forth. And when you're targeting high-end price points like 500 to 2,000 plus, especially ones that are like per month for like reoccurring charges, it doesn't really take a ton of time to land some sales when done right. Like if you just get one sale, that's a lot of money. Whereas again, if you're selling $7 products, if you get one sale, oftentimes it's not really worth your time there. And if you focus on finding leads, replying to, and posting ads for 1 hour a week to start, you can be off to a great start there. So, especially once you have, your service, which isn't hard to either make one yourself using WebFire, or just find outsourced guys that, again, you can, just increase the value of what their offerings look like. It's very easy to get that. And then you can, again, just spend an hour a week focusing on, again, finding leads, replying to them, posting up ads, so on and so forth. And if you do that, I'd find it almost impossible not to get sales, if you do that all right there. And again, it won't be perfect the first time through, and it doesn't have to be perfect the first time through. You just have to take action. The second thing that you can do in basically an hour a week or less, I think, is a huge one, especially if you have your own product or service. If you don't, you obviously can make your own product or service, or make one based upon what you just saw on the prior method. So you won't have any excuse then. So this one right here can have a huge impact on your business if you already have a product or service. If not, again, just make one. You can use the guest blog tool, the competition backlink tool, or other lead tools to locate other big sellers in your niche. So, for instance, with the competition backlink tool, you can see who the competitors are. You can see where they get their sources of traffic from. You can see all that, and through that you can basically guesstimate which ones are the larger influencers, or which ones have the larger lists, or make the most sales and all that, or just do a Google search and see, hey, what sites are ranked well, what sites appear to be the biggest ones that probably get a lot of traffic, and then email them and offer to white label your offer for them, or just resell it, if they don't care if it's a white label. Now, I know a handful of you are probably saying, well, what is a white label? A white label is basically where you let someone sell your product or service under their own name or brand. So it won't necessarily be branded to you, but you still get a cut of the profit. So it's kind of a win-win. So if guys are worried about essentially branding and they don't want to resell your stuff, but they want to resell more stuff, you know, they can say that your service or your product is their own, and both of you get paid along the same way. Now, you want to be generous in your cuts here, at least 50% if not more. The more you can offer, the more likely they are to make a deal. Now, keep that in mind that some of these guys can drive a ton of sales, even ongoing sales, you know, around the clock for years and years and years. So be generous in your cuts. Take care of all the support. Take care of anything and everything that you can to make it super easy for them to make you money. The easier you make it for them to make you money, the more likely they are to take you up on the deal. If you do a deal with them and you try to say, yeah, but you have to do this, 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 and that, they'll say, wow, that's a ton of work. I don't really even need you at this point. I can just do this myself if it's going to take that much work. So they're looking for the easy way out, so make sure you make it easy for them. Oftentimes, these big sellers might have huge market shares and big lists, but they don't necessarily have tons of products to constantly sell them. So you're giving them, you know, an opportunity to make more money as long as you make their lives easy and hassle-free. Because again, they're not looking to add more work, they're just looking to add more money, and that's why this works well. Now, you know, you can spend 1 hour a week contacting new prospects and big sellers once you have a product or service of your own, and this can work again incredibly well. Now, here's a handful of mistakes I oftentimes see here, and this is big. Despite how I say this over and over and over again, I see a lot of guys that basically offer too small of a cut. Like, they'll say, hey, if you sell my ebook or my service, I'll pay you a 10% cut. And their logic is, well, that guy doesn't have to do any work. I'm doing all the work here. Therefore, you know, he should be happy that I'm paying him 10%. And the reason why that's a crappy mindset is the guys that can make you big sales are basically thinking, who does this schmuck think he is if he's only offering me 10% if I, you know, am the one making 100% of the sales? You know, they're basically thinking, without them, you know, your offer isn't worth anything. So, you know, you want to make sure that you give a generous cut, and don't get in the mindset of, well, because he doesn't have to make a product or do anything, he should be happy with just a tiny cut. That's not how the world works there. It doesn't motivate a person to work with you. So again, at least half. You know, ideally even try to offer more. And the good news is, a lot of the services or products that you sell, especially like, let's say you sell a service at like $1,000. The way I teach, you know, you have a huge margin of profit there. You have like, again, like a 90 or 95%, you know, margin there. So even if you offer half, it's a lot of money still, a lot of profit. And to the seller, they're like, wow, I can offer this all hands-free. They think a service might be much more hard to fulfill. They don't have the headache of doing the fulfillment or having to worry about any of that, but they can still, again, profit, you know, half or more. That's a pretty good deal for a lot of these guys right there. So again, spend an hour a week contacting new prospects, you know, or big sellers and such, and you'll be shocked, you know, what can happen over time. Now, you won't necessarily get like a deal the first week, but let's say you only get like, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 deals a year. Okay, some of the deals that you can do here can be worth a fortune. There's guys that get a constant flow of new buyers every month, sometimes even every day, where one deal with one of those guys can basically make more than a full-time living off of just that one deal that you made right there. So again, keep that in mind, and again, be generous to them. The other mistake I oftentimes see are guys don't make you know, an offer like this as hassle-free as it should. Like, they'll try to get big, like they'll say, hey, I have this offer here, but I need you to make the web page, or I need you to do support, or I need you to do this, or that. The second you ask them to do almost anything, you lost that deal. Because again, they want to make this as hands-free as possible. They don't want to add more work, because if you make them do more work, their first mindset is, well, if I'm already doing a bunch of work, how hard would it be just to, eliminate that guy and sell it myself? They don't want to do that because they don't want to do all that work, but the more work you have them do, the more likely they are to think that. Now, the next method that you can do is what I call the affiliate marketing made easy trick. And this is one, if you just want to be an affiliate, if you don't want to do your own product or service, again, I encourage you to eventually do your own product or service. But if you're brand new and you just want to start, this method can work great for you. And again, it's super easy, like super, super easy. So first, think of one new product a week that you can be an affiliate for. Now, a lot of you are probably saying, well, how do I find what product I can be an affiliate for? Well, there's lots of ways. First, you can go to like an affiliate network like clickbank.com or cj.com, just the letter C and the letter J.com, or linkshare.com, or any place like that, or even just Amazon itself, where you can be an affiliate for almost anything. You can find tons of products on those sites, or just go to Google and type in, like product name, like any product name that you can think of, followed by affiliate, and you'll probably find lots of private affiliate programs out there from tons of sites that you can be an affiliate for whatever product or niche you want to sell in. And that works very easy, and I oftentimes do that trick to find the private affiliate programs and such out there. The second then is, you don't just want to find a random affiliate program. You want to find ones that, pay you a decent chunk in commissions. If they're paying you like $7 a sale, that's not really too appealing. If it's like maybe $7 a month, maybe. But I mean, there's guys that pay, anywhere from $100 to $1,000 or thousands of dollars for a single sale. So I usually try to focus, more on either ones that pay a lot more, or ones that have a reoccurring commission as well. But almost just as important as how much they pay is how much that product sells of its own, or how popular the product is. If you're an affiliate for a product that gets like no sales on its own, that no one is trying to search for, it's very hard to write like reviews and stuff like that if no one is searching for it to start with. And the rule of thumb I use is just use common sense. Do a quick search, or use a lead tool like the real-time lead finder inside of WebFire, and just see if people are talking about that product or service. If they are, it probably tells you, gee, there's probably a market there. If no one is talking about it, or you do a search on Google and there's like no other sites that mention it, it probably means there's not really any sales. Or just use common sense. Like if it's a product that is popular, great. That's fine right there. But those are the two key things. Then you want to write a short review that you turn into a video with Video Firestorm. Now, you want to have a simple format of a title, a short summary of maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 slides tops, a pros and cons list where you just list out pros and cons, a conclusion, which is just like a couple lines of like, maybe like 2-3 lines tops, where it's just like, in conclusion, despite how it has this con or that con, that the pros far outweigh, this, blah, blah, just a, quick conclusion that sums up what you think as a whole, and then followed up with like a 1-line call to action, which would be like, hey, click here or go to here to grab the best deal on this now, or basically that's where you'd have your affiliate link or call to action on what you want them to basically do. So you can create the video and submit it with the Video Firestorm tool. Now, when you do that, you want to target review type keywords that don't have more than 2 title take matches in Google and or on YouTube itself on page 1. So if you target a keyword like product 1 review, okay, product 1 obviously would replace with whatever name the product or tool was. If you find that there's tons and tons and tons of sites on page one of Google and Yahoo that contain that exact keyword side by side in their title, or in the blue link, or in the title of the video or site, it's probably best to pass on that and look for a different kind of keyword. Like, you can probably brainstorm like a dozen or more, even up to 100 different kinds of keywords. Like, you could do product review, review of product, product one versus product two. If there's different, competitors out there, that's a good one that oftentimes doesn't have a lot of people trying to compete for, even though they're all buyer type terms. If someone's looking for product one versus product two, you know that they're looking to basically buy. They're just trying to make a decision on which one. And so find one that has two or less title tag matches, and that's just, again, the titles that should show up in Google or that show up in YouTube. And if you find ones like that, you're almost guaranteed to rank on page one within a short amount of time, and that gives you free exposure then. Then you want to use a redirect link in your video's call to action, as well as in the description, to make the affiliate link look nicer. When you can, or send it to whatever site you want. Like, if you also have a blog on it, you can send them to that blog if you want. But if you just have an affiliate link, you certainly can post up that. But if you have a redirect link, that tends to look a little bit nicer. And you can search Google for, like, free redirect link service, and there's a handful of them out there that are free. A lot of web hosts include that too. There's also ways where you can use your own link and have like myownlink.com / whatever words you want, and you can redirect that anywhere you want. Your host will let you know how that's done, or just do a quick Google search, and super easy, or just use any of the redirect linking services out there that are free, and they're super easy to set up those right there. And that's just a way to get the traffic going from the video to whatever you want, whether it's straight to the affiliate link or back to your site or anything like that. Now, optionally, you can create a written blog post version of it as well, following the same idea. So you don't just have to do a video, you can turn it into a blog post review as well, and do both at the same time, and double your chances of getting rankings and traffic. Optionally, and this is a big one too, you can also use the lead tools to find people looking for reviews or talking, about such products and such too. And that's a way where you can go straight to where the leads are talking about stuff right now and say, hey, I see you're looking for a review on this, or hey, I see you're talking about this. I actually wrote a review on that. Here's some pros and cons. You can check out my full review right here, and you can post a link to your video or to your blog post or anything like that. And that can be a great way of finding leads, especially if you go after the high value leads, where it's just one sale can be worth a decent chunk of dough. That basically makes it far more worth your while. And keep in mind, a single post that you do, not only is there that one lead there right now, but there might be dozens, hundreds, or thousands of people in the future that happen across that same post and see the advice that you gave them. Now, what you want to do with this is, again, just make one new review a week, and then watch you slowly start to build a reoccurring revenue, as time goes on here. So it's not like every review you'll write will make you a fortune. It certainly won't. But if you write one a week, again, you can easily do all this in under an hour's time, especially once you get used to it. In fact, once you get used to it, you can probably do like 2 in that time. If you're really good, you can actually do a lot more. But if you do 1 a week, if you even have, let's say, 1 out of 4, so 1 each month that catches on and gets a decent amount of traffic and time, that adds up a lot over time, because each week you're doing another one and another one and another one, and a lot of these will pay for not just months, but for years and years and years to come. In fact, I have some old affiliate reviews that I wrote like 10 years ago that are still making sales to this day that I haven't touched in probably like 8 to 10 years. And I have some that make a substantial amount of money. I think like one of the ones that I did back in, I think 2007 or so, is made over 20,000 in commissions, and I haven't touched that at all. Granted, again, that wasn't overnight. Like the first while, it was maybe like $50 a month or so, but it started to grow and get larger and larger, and it added up over time. And in hindsight, it's like amazing, because it's like, wow, I think I took like 20 to 30 minutes to actually write that. Now again, I've certainly had some reviews that I've made squat or made very, very little, that I made back then too. But the point is, it doesn't matter if you stick to a method like this. If just a fourth of them stick, that can add up really, really well and faster than you probably think. And that's a very easy thing that anyone can do right here. So with that, guys, again, I'm not saying you have to do all three, and there's certainly, we have tons and tons and tons of other training that cover all sorts of other ways that, again, you can make money with WebFire or for your business or anything like that. But I just want to give you like 3 quick things, that you can do that realistically, again, within like an hour a week or so, you can start to get some really awesome results off of that. Especially, there's ones there that if you go about that right, and you take advantage of the training here as well as some of the prior trainings, you can turn that into some pretty big businesses all by itself. The difference between those that do well and those that tend to be those that do well will take action. They'll follow through. They'll listen to the advice, and they'll have basically an action plan that they stick to. So I encourage you to do that. And with that, guys, if you have any questions at all, you can type those in, and I'll answer those live, and then we'll do the cash giveaway right after. And as a side note, to partake in the cash giveaway, what we do is we have a Facebook group that is free for you to join. If you're not a member yet, go to getwebfire.com/FB group, and you can send an invite request over, and you'll probably get added within like a minute. We have some help on this call, so if you go there right now and you're not in the group yet, if you add yourself in, you'll get approved within like a minute or less, and you'll see a post up from Sharon today in the past hour that says, what did you think of today's call? And if you leave a comment on that post there, we'll pick a random commenter, and we'll actually pay him $100 cash over PayPal this afternoon. And I'll actually pick the winner live on this call here in just a few minutes time, probably like 5 or so minutes time. So make sure to leave up that comment while I answer a handful of questions here. So again, I'll leave up the link right here for right now as I go through some of the questions here first. So I'll give you guys time to do that. All right. All right, so Abdul asks here, he says, how could we help a local business dominate local keyword searches, like web design Bately, or web design Dewsbury, or basically different towns and cities and such like that. So what you'd want to do in that case, so let's say you have a local business, and it doesn't really matter what kind, like if it's a dentist or a web design or a chiropractor or lawyers or anything like that. The key is to, on the web pages that you make within your site, you want to target the localized keywords as the title of those pages, or so you want to have keywords somewhere in the title, as well as ideally in the description of that site. And you can use the site analysis tool to see what the title tags and the description tags look like, and you can fix it, right there too. For instance, if you were a dentist in Atlanta, a lot of guys will just have like a title tag that will just say like home, or it will say, um, John Doe's, cosmetic dentistry, where, that's all great if someone's searching for your exact name. But it's not great if they're searching for, let's say, a cosmetic dentist in Atlanta. So in that case, in your title tag and in the description, you'd want to use a term like, cosmetic dentist, Atlanta, Georgia. Of course, you also want to have it be appealing, like, cosmetic dentist, Atlanta, Georgia, or like dash, the most affordable and most advanced dentist, or say like, the best cosmetic dentist, Atlanta, Georgia, and any kind of term like that. As long as the keyword is somewhere in the title, that's fine. Then you also want to make sure you use the keyword somewhere throughout the site too. Like you don't want to have a site that has zero content on it, or zero content that contains the keyword somewhere in there that you're trying to rank for. You also want to make sure, especially if you're like a local business, to use the schema tools that we have too, which basically gives more info to Google and can help show more info for a local site, like their business hours, their phone, and all that stuff right there. All right. All right. Jim asks here, is this all about SEO? Because they're trying to sell through Facebook? And no. There's probably about, I'd say, maybe a fourth of the tools are SEO. A fourth to a third of the tools are around leads, like finding leads out there. And some are, and there's some social media leads, some ones that find who your competition is. So I mean, like there's the social poster fire, which you can use to put your Facebook and Twitter marketing on autopilot. But of course, I try to basically think, hey, the more that you can take advantage of, the better. If you can get leads through the lead tools, great. If you can rank to, great. If you can have videos and stuff get ranked and bring in traffic, great. If you can put your social media on, on autopilot or find leads off of it, great. So you can take advantage of all that. All right. All right, this person asks where they can find the training. If you log into WebFire, you'll see a left side navigation bar, and towards the bottom of that, you'll see a tab called Training. If you click on that, you'll see the different categories of training, like the Wednesday calls are there. And if you click on the Wednesday trainings, you'll see all of these calls that we have. Now, this call obviously will take probably like a few hours to show up there. It'll be there for sure by tomorrow morning, if not later tonight. But that's all there, and you can see all that right there. All right. Francis asked here, and this is a good question: is one keyword really just one word, or can it be a few words? By keyword, I mean like, it's usually a few keywords. It's typically very hard to rank for one word unless it's like not that competitive. For instance, like if like you might have a keyword of weight loss tips for men. That whole term would be a keyword. Okay. Yeah. So anytime we basically talk about keywords or stuff, or optimizing a site, it's best to start with the website analysis tool to basically analyze the site. But when making like a new web page or website, and it's if you don't have one, you can go to blogger.com, blogger.com. You can make and host blogs for free there. And basically just want to make sure that if you're trying to rank for a certain keyword, make sure to use that keyword somewhere on your site, like in the title of the blog post and once or twice in the content itself. And also use the main keyword tool inside of WebFire to make sure that you choose a keyword that's not terribly competitive too, but still get some searches and such. All right. All right, so this person asks here, would having a schema markup for a one-page site help? Yes. Doesn't matter if it's a one-page site or a 100-page site, that those can definitely help. But of course, it's also very important to make sure that your title tag contains the keywords and stuff that you're trying to rank for. All right, Bill Rhodes asked, how can we do a PR service? Well, what I've seen a couple guys do using WebFire is you can use the guest blog tool, and you can find all the blogs that accept guest blog posts, and you can charge a fee as a service for $500 to a couple grand to contact all the related blogs out there, which again, WebFire lets you actually contact as many as you want with a click of a button, and you can, for your client, you can reach out to all those guest blog places and say, hey, I have a client that is in this niche. He's an expert in this. Would you be interested in doing a guest blog post here? Here's an example of an article that he wrote. Make sure it's a good example. If it's a crappy one, it won't go too far. Then offer to write them a unique one if they accept it. And that can be a service that can work really well, because if places get accepted on even 1 or 2 or 3 guest blog posts, people typically are really happy and excited about that, and the value of that can be huge, especially if you get into a popular blog. So that's again a service that you can do there. All right. So for a public relations tool, the guest blogger tool would be the closest one to that right there. It's not specifically called a PR tool. It's just a guest blog post finder which you can use on that. All right. I'm just reading through some questions here. What? All right. So this person said here, for dentists and lawyers and such, they oftentimes find sites that are more basically directories. And yeah, there's some sites that are like that, and there's some guys that try to rank for those terms just to try to get a bunch of traffic. But you can still pretty easily find local dentists or chiropractors or basically any kind of local bit business you want, just by basically doing a Google search, and then within a matter of seconds, you can pretty easily weed through which ones seem to be official sites and grab the contact info off of that. We also have some separate software and stuff that Sharon can give a link to that can make it easier to get local business leads and stuff too. That can save a bit more time with that, but yeah, that's all very easy to do right there. And yes, this person asked here, there's a couple guys asking about the screen recording software. So The free one is Cam Studio. So if you just do a Google search on that, you should find that. Or if you search for like free screen recording software, you'll probably find some other ones. But I actually prefer a paid one called Camtasia. There's a Mac version and a Windows one as well. It's a little pricey. Like I think I got mine for like $100 or $200. I think there's some out there, like I think for Windows it might be like $200 or $300. But it's a pretty cool and very easy to use screen recorder. There's a handful of you on this call that are saying that you love that. And that's all great there. But again, you can definitely start with a free one if you would prefer that route. All right. Just going through there's a bunch of questions here and a bunch of repeat questions that are comparable to what we answered already. Okay. All right, so there's a couple guys asking, what kind of like high ticket products or services do I recommend to sell? Pretty much the ones I mentioned on this call, like anything with SEO, PR, like guest blogging and such, social media management, video creation. I mean, there's lots of stuff that you can either do with WebFire almost on complete autopilot or near autopilot, or you can find guys on like Fiverr and such that you can outsource to them for like $5 to $10, and you can turn around and sell for a lot more. But you have to follow the tips that I mentioned, which is again, is making it as done for you as possible, increasing the value, all that right there. And let's see. And yes, this person asked, would the third method, which was the affiliate review method, work well for physical products? Absolutely. Yeah, no problem with that. Yeah, and you certainly can make videos and such for your own products or anything like that. This is just I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of other things that you can do. That these are just three quick examples that I gave there. Okay, this is a great question that Andy asked here. He said, for the affiliate method, do you mean write one review a week for the same product or a new product each week? I really mean a new product each week, because you don't want to have like 56 reviews of the same product in 1 year, because it's kind of all your eggs in one basket. If you want to have a few different ones, okay, but the goal is to have a bunch of different products and a bunch of different product reviews out there as an affiliate, because you can maximize the money you make and not have all your eggs in one basket. All right. And yeah, just as a side note too, sometimes there's a couple people that will have like an email issue. So what we have for support, we actually have a help desk inside of WebFire. If you log in there's a support tab, or you can also just go to helpdesk.webfire.com, and if you use that, if by chance there's ever an email issue, you'll always see a reply within the help desk too. So if you log back in after a few hours or after a day, you'll always see a reply right there. So always try to use that first, instead of email, just in case. So as far as what your unique offer could be for like a dentist or anything like that, it really depends on what you want to do. If you want to sell like an SEO service where you help optimize their site, great, that can be your unique offer. If you want to do a video for them, which is an easy one, where you could create a video and get it ranked locally, which is like super easy. In fact, this is like another idea that you could easily do in less than like an hour. You could create and rank a video for them. You could even go to Fiverr and have a guy create a video for them that looks really nice with like animations and all that, and it could be about their clinic or their practice or whatever you want, and you could get that ranked, not only on YouTube but on Google for localized keywords, and that give you another chance of getting rankings and such too. All right, and yes, the recordings are up in the members area usually within a day. All right, Derek asked a good question here. He said if he's sending a first email to contact prospects in the business-to-business market, should he follow up by phone after 2 days if no response? What I would probably do with that, if you think it's a really good client that you think would be a good fit, first send like an email, and if you don't get like a response after a couple days, maybe send a reply back saying, hey, just want to follow up to see if you got this. A quick message like that can be like less intrusive, but I mean, if you're really good on the phone, yeah, you obviously can call leads and such too. I know a lot of people tend to shy away from a phone, so that's why I don't actively talk about that a ton. But if you're good on the phone, that certainly can work, and I definitely have had clients that are very good on the phone and have made a lot of sales off that too. All right, let's see. All right, this person said, how do you fix issues on your site? Well, 2 ways. One, there's a tool inside WebFire called SEO Inferno, which is under the SEO tab. That can fix issues. Just click that and run through that. You can also go to the site analysis tool, and next to all the problems you have, there's a button called Fix. Click that, and it'll walk you through that. So that will take care of that for you. And we mentioned a few ways of so this person asked how they can promote an affiliate product using WebFire. We mentioned a few ways of that already, including method 3, but we have entire calls devoted to just that. So make sure to check the prior trainings, maybe search for like affiliate or anything like that. But basically, in a nutshell, writing reviews is big. Finding people looking for like reviews on stuff on all sorts of affiliate products or talking about certain products and stuff using the lead tools can be another great way as well there. So this person asks, what happens to the video you make when setting up affiliates? It would get submitted to YouTube and such. All right. And if you have, this person asks, what can they do if they have a Shopify store? The exact same stuff. So guys, don't overthink it. I don't care what your business is. I don't care if you have a Shopify store, another e-commerce store. I don't care if you're just an affiliate. Oftentimes, the exact same methods work for all of you. Like SEO is not magically different for one niche versus another. It's pretty much the same thing. But for like a Shopify store, again, you want to try to optimize that. You want to try to target your keywords well. We also have a schema markup that has a Shopify version on it, which you can use. You can also basically optimize the image tags on the graphics of like your products and such. So that's some things that you can do right there. All right. All right. This person says they have a product on pregnancy. What products would go for that? Well, I mean, if you have a website on pregnancy, my guess is you probably know what products would be a better fit than me. I mean, there's probably tons and tons and tons of products that pregnant people could use there. And if you just do like a search on Google for like pregnancy affiliate, you'd probably find tons of pregnancy related affiliate products and such there. That would be a good start for you. And no, you don't need HostGator for hosting. In fact, I mean, even like Blogger.com itself you can make a basic blog for free, but obviously there's lots of good hosts out there that you can use. HostGator's perfectly fine. Oneandone.com is perfectly fine too, so don't overthink that too much. All right, here's a question right here. This is a local business guy right here. It says, how would you suggest helping a new and used car dealer with an auto repair tenant as well? So first and foremost, I'd make sure that your site is optimized, like for each part, like not just for new, but like have like one page that you have it geared towards like new car dealership or terms like that, where you have the name you're trying to go for followed by the city or location. Have that in the title and on the page. Maybe have a separate page all about your used cars, so you can clearly target those terms as well. You can also create videos for each one to try to rank those both in YouTube, which in addition can also rank on Google at the same time. And you can also, for the car repair part, you can have a page on that within your site that you try to clearly optimize for that, like auto repair, whatever city or town you're in. And you can use the keyword tools to try to judge, like, hey, what might be a better keyword to go for? Like, is car repair or auto repair better, or is I'm not quite sure what all the terms would be off that. But again, you can easily find that, optimize that. But on top of that, you can also use like some of the lead tools, like a good one for you here would be the tweet lead finder, which is under the social tools, and you can pinpoint it to like your location, like let's say 20 miles or 10 miles, or I mean whatever mile range sounds good to you. And you can look for tweets of people complaining about how they're looking for a car, or how they just got into a car wreck, or anything, any term like that. And like each week, you can find a handful of leads of people that have said, hey, they just got into a car wreck, or they're shopping for a new car, or anything like that. And then you can reach out to those guys and say, hey, I see that you're looking for a new car, or I see you got into a car wreck. I just wanted to mention that I'm actually a local dealer right here, and I'd be happy to take a look. We have some of the best deals out here. Feel free to reach out. Yeah, that'd be a great way to actually start right there, because again, just one deal off that would probably make you a decent profit right there without having to really do a ton of work. And again, that'd just be the tweet lead finder under the social tools. And when you set up the keywords, at the very bottom, there's a little check mark where you can search locally if you want there as well. Just make sure to watch the walkthrough on that first, and it will explain everything for you. But that's what I would do if I were you, right off the bat right there. All right. All right. Just answering a few people here. Yeah, and you can optimize pretty much almost any site that you have access to change, like title tags or keywords or anything like that. So as far as what kinds of tools that you can use for affiliate programs, again, or to find people that are interested in any affiliate product, again, any of the lead tools, like the real-time lead tools or rank lead tools, or even the tweet lead finder, you can find lots of leads for anything right there. And guys, I don't care what niche you're in. There's lots of guys saying, well, how would I find, would the lead tools work on this, or that? The answer is yes. Okay, if you're in a market that's anything decent, there's leads people out there asking questions on it. Okay. All right, this person said right here, if they have a new affiliate product that they want to be an affiliate for, should they write a blog post review as a new site or just as a new post? I mean, if if the posts on one site are all relevant to the theme of the site, a new blog post is fine. You don't have to do a new blog page. But I mean, if you have a blog on cats, okay, don't do an affiliate review on something completely unrelated to cats. So in that case, you can start like a new blog, you know, based on whatever topic you want. All right. All right, to do. And yes, again, all of the lead tools can certainly be used for e-commerce and stuff too. Yeah, a Blogger blog's fine, a WordPress blog's fine. Don't overthink that. As far as affiliate programs go, it depends on what your interest is. Again, just do a search for any product followed by affiliate. All right. All right, and to find contact info on sites, you can, again, we have several lead tools that can help with that. Even the competition backlink tool can find contact info for other competitors and such too. And Andrew, as far as keyword density goes, don't worry too much about that. As long as the page contains the keyword you're trying to rank for, even like 1 or 2 times, you're probably fine. Don't overdo it, because that can sometimes be a red flag. Yes, and to outsource web design and logos, Fiverr works really fine for that. All right. All right. I think just about done with the questions, I think. Oh yeah, here's a question. How long does it take for a schema to show up in Google? Anywhere from a matter of days to weeks. It really depends. All right. All right, as far as yes, and if you're joining the Facebook group, you'll probably be accepted again, you know, within like a minute. All right, and this person said here for a screen capture software, they use a free one called ATube Catcher on Windows, and they say that they like it and that's free. So if you want a screen recorder that's free, that's another suggestion right there. So thanks, Francis, for that. And yes, Camtasia does come with some training on how to use it. All right. All right, and as far as like plans of taking action, you know, I think if you set even like basically an hour or 2 aside a week and just do something with that, that's a good way to basically start. But have like a set plan, you know, each time, and that's fine there. All right, there's a handful of you asking the same question like a few times, even though they were answered already. All right. All right, so right. All right, we'll get to the cash giveaway in a second here. All right, so this person asked here, this is a good question. They're concerned about their ebook being copied or stolen. I wouldn't worry too much about that because the people that are looking to steal like an ebook are not necessarily good good buyers that would buy from you anyway. But there's download protection tools out there that you could do a Google search on, but I wouldn't worry about that until you have like a lot of buyers. And I would focus more on how to get more sales than on how to basically protect an ebook. Because I mean, at the end of the day, there's ways where people can steal like an ebook either way, but usually it's not like a major issue. All right, so what I'll do now, I'll do the cash giveaway. And if I accidentally skipped a question, there's a lot of questions, but I see like there's like a bunch that are like repeats and stuff. But if you think I missed a question of yours, feel free to type that in, and I'll do the cash giveaway right now for those that have patiently waited. So again, you want to go to getwebfire.com/FB group and leave a post within Sharon's post where she's asking what you thought of today's training, and we'll pick a winner in like a minute. I'm just going to pause the screen for a second as I switch on over to that. All right. All right. All right, so right here is our Facebook group right here. Again, just getwebfire.com/FB group will forward you to this page right here. And you'll see Sharon's post right here where it says, how did everyone enjoy today's call? She posted that 44 minutes ago. And you'll see all the comments under right here. So it's 86 currently right there. So let's make sure to do quick post there. There's a handful of you that posted elsewhere too. I think, yeah. All right, yeah, so it looks like we got all the posts under right here, so that's good. All right, so I'll give you guys maybe another 10 seconds to leave a comment there if you have not yet. And again, each week we give out cash on each call, so you have tons and tons of chances to win. Right here, so again, I'll do countdown: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'll just refresh that really quick just in case. Sometimes that picks up some. All right, 88. So looks like we picked up a few there. I'll get them all showing up there. See if there's any stragglers out there anywhere. All right, looks like there's a few. So we have outside of the main one, so I'll add, it'll be easier for me to count here. All right. Let's see here. Okay, this will count that one right there. It's 1, 2. All right, so 2 plus, what's the total we have here? 2 plus 88, so we have 90 in total. So to make sure that it's completely random, I'll go to random.org right here. I'll say 1 to 90. Hopefully it's not like a number in the in the middle, because those are a pain to count to. So let's see what it says. Ah, 67. Right in the middle there. All right, 67. I'll do the counting right here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's Marvin. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Marion. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67. All right. So, James Mason, if this is you or if this looks like you, you are the winner. So just make sure to post up your PayPal info to Sharon, and she'll get that over to you. So if you just want to post that up in the question box to her, or just post it on in the Facebook contact info, just make sure to give us your PayPal info, and she'll pay you the $100 over PayPal this afternoon. So congratulations to Jim Mason. All right, so we're just about, or basically wrapped up here, but I'll see if there's any last minute questions that popped up. All right. All right, and yeah, so Simi, as a side note, so he's saying he downloaded the app but can't log in through it. You're not meant to log in through the actual desktop app. That just runs in the background. You still have to log in on the web-based link, and for the tools that use the desktop app, it'll just say on the left side in green if it connected. And if you get stuck or lost in that, watch the walkthrough on how to set that all up, or just write the support, and they'll be sure to sort you all out. And it looks like Jim wrote his PayPal email Sharon, so if you could just make sure to PayPal him the $100. He's towards the very bottom, about 6 or 7 questions up. So yeah, thanks, Jim. We'll get that over to you today as well. And again, the recordings are up in the WebFire members area under the training tab, where it says you click on training, and then you'll see a separate tab for Wednesday calls, and click on that, and you'll see all the calls there. Again, this call will be there probably by tonight. If not, then tomorrow morning for sure. All right, guys. All right, so one question here. Do you have? And yeah, you certainly can. This person said, instead of ranking videos for like affiliate reviews, can you sell videos to other businesses and such? Yeah, you certainly can rank videos for local businesses or almost anyone, and like rent or sell those out as well. That's another method that can work again really well as well right there. So with that, guys, we've gone a bit long on the call, but hopefully I've answered a lot of questions and such. If I missed anything, or if you still have a question, you can write support@webfire.com, or better yet, go into the members area, click on the support tab, and you'll go to the help desk right there. That way there will never be like an email issue or anything like that there. All right. All right, guys, and yeah, so I think I answered everything, but again, if not, just feel free to write support@webfire.com. All right, and yep, and guys, I look forward to you guys joining us on next Wednesday, again at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, if you have any suggestions for topics that you would like covered, first look on the prior trainings and such like that. But if there's anything at all that you think would be cool to hear, let us know, and we'll try to make sure to cover it. So with that, guys, take care, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. Bye.